Hey everybody, I am actually trying to do my first live video here and invite somebody else to talk about recovery with me. So this is exciting. I am waiting to see if I can see when she comes on. And when she gets here, then we'll just invite her in, which will be pretty cool. Let's see. Still waiting to get her in here. Let's see. Hey Monica, are you in here? If you're in here, comment. Let me know that you're here. Alright, I see you. Okay, think out, which is exciting if I did. Monica, I think you just accepted. Hey, I can see you. How are
How are
you?
you? I'm
Good.
good.
I'm excited that I just figured that out. This is very
Yeah.
new.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
glad you figured it out as well.
yeah. So this will be interesting because I am recovering from heroin, but let's talk about what you're recovering from because I love this.
Yeah, so I am recovering from codependency and enabling. So I'm on the family side of things.
Yeah. The reason that I love that and have loved you since the moment that I met you is because not a lot of people, not even parents, actually try to educate themselves on addiction. And they really don't think that they need recovery themselves. So, like, hearing the stuff that you talk about and knowing the way that you feel and how you've educated yourself about not only this topic, but every topic in general is heartwarming to me because we don't see that very often.
Well, I know that when I first found out about my son's addiction, I was not so educated about it, and I knew that I had to do something, and educating myself about it was what I had to do. So, in educating myself, I come to realize that I was just as sick as my son.
Yeah. So, what was he going through?
So he was addicted to opiates, to Percocet, which then turned into a short-term little spout with heroin, so IV heroin use. So I always say that he's chosen recovery for today, and that's a blessing.
So, when did you decide and what made you decide to find treatment or recovery for yourself?
It was probably maybe his second stint in recovery, 30-day program. They had a family support group there, and the counselor had told me that, no matter what I did, what I said, that I couldn't change the things that he was doing. The only person that I could change was myself. And, I literally went in the parking lot that day and got sick because that was a lot for me because I really, really honestly thought that I could change my son. And that was a little life changing for me. I thought that I could fix him. I thought that I could make his decisions for him. But now I know that if I could have done that, he wouldn't have been in the situation that he was in.
Right. And I love that you say all of that because, like, when I was in my active addiction, I never realized the effects that it had on family and on my parents and on my friends and everyone who loved me. I couldn't understand that it was hurting them because I was doing what I wanted to do and I was hurting myself, but at the same time, like, the drugs made me so numb that it didn't matter to me. I'm trying to like explain this to the best of my ability without offending anybody. But when you're in active addiction, you think that the only person that you're hurting is you. So now that I'm in recovery and I see what it actually does to all of the parents, because you guys don't get to be numb through this whole thing. And us as addicts, we were numb through all of it. I didn't have to feel anything. So I have a lot of sympathy for the parents and for the family. But also through my recovery, I'm in recovery and I can relate to the addict side, but I'm also forced to be on the family side too, where we're still dealing with people that are in active addiction, and it's hard for us to not be able to save them. And so I see myself taking on different roles through my recovery because of the people that are still around me that are suffering. And it is hard when you realize that you can't save somebody. They have to be willing to save themselves. And I understand that because I was there. I hit my rock bottom when I was going to lose my kids, and everybody's rock bottom's different, but like we're still being affected by addiction every single day, and our children are still being affected by addiction, and it's hard for me to cope with. So it makes me understand where the parents are coming from more and more sympathetic, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But just because like we're in recovery, um, we can't get rid of addiction right now. Like it's just not going away. It's touching all of our lives and affecting everybody in it and our children as well.
Yes, that's why I always encourage family recovery because, in my recovery, I learned that the things that my son was doing absolutely was not my child. It was the disease. And,
Right.
that helped me understand that, the lying and the stealing, those are not things that my son would do.
Right.
On an everyday natural thing. So, the education definitely is so important for families that are going through, addiction or friends or anybody. I say that anybody that's walking a journey with somebody in recovery definitely needs the education and the support.
I agree 100%. Can you see the comments that people are commenting?
I do. When an active addiction, I don't know if you actually really think about the fact that you are hitting yourself.
Yeah, Kira, I'm not sure what that means. Can you maybe reword that? But also
Yeah.
the reason I was making sure to see if you could see it is I wanted to know if anybody had any questions because I am the person that used every single type of drug out there. Hurting yourself.
Oh, absolutely. You would be the one to answer that, Ember, as the
Oh
person in
man, I think
recovery.
I don't know. Well, when I was in active addiction, I got so low and so depressed and so beat up that it didn't matter that I was hurting myself. I cared more about the people around me, like my children. I didn't really want to hurt them. I couldn't control the fact that I was going down a road that I didn't want to go down. I didn't know what recovery was, and I didn't think that recovery was possible. So for me, like the only way that I thought that I could get out was by dying. And I've said it a million times, like it should never come to that point in your life where death's okay. because you're so far gone. Like I wasn't myself whatsoever. I was just a shell of who I was and overcome by needing this drug every single day. Illness, depression, just anything that you could think of that would make a person, I can't even explain. It's hell. It's pure hell. And uh, I don't know. I'm just blessed that I was able to find recovery when I did and get out of it. But yeah, I was aware that I was hurting myself. I wasn't able to find a way to get out of that myself. And Children's Services got involved and they taught me how to get out of it and they taught me about recovery. So I'm blessed that somebody intervened because I would be dead. I wouldn't be here right now if it weren't for Children's Services. But if you're just tuning in, I am Ember. I am a recovering heroin addict. I'll have 4 years clean in April. And I'm here with Monica, and she is a parent of her son's in recovery. So if you guys have any questions, I thought it was interesting to get both sides here because I don't know what I want to say. Like this was my first video with somebody, so it's pretty cool. But you do great things for our community, and I love how educated you are. So I'm glad that you're doing this whatsoever. She's a perfect person to ask. And I may have to invite her back in because I think we just lost her. Let's see if she comes. If you come back in, Monica, just comment and I'll invite you back into this conversation. Thanks, guys. All right, we'll still wait on her for a little bit. Is there any questions that any of you guys have that I could answer? Okay, getting Monica back in here.
Hey,
There you are.
it said paused. I don't know what that was all about.
We're learning as we go. That's okay. We got you back in here, so that's fine.
Sorry about that.
No problem. So is there anything that you think that, because this will be posted on Recovery Nation apparel site, which means that it can potentially be seen by 16,000 people and shared. Is there anything that you think, as a mother, that people should hear and should know about?
You know, I really want to encourage, families, loved ones, anybody that, like I said, that is walking a journey with somebody in recovery, or even if somebody is struggling, still in active use, that family, to reach out for support, to find a support education. You'll find that family support groups are popping up everywhere because we're finding that they're working. Family support groups are working in communities. So, I just want to encourage everybody to reach out to those groups because that is how we can be at best for our people, our loved ones, getting that education, having that foundation. Something interesting that kind of has happened in our support group is we found that when we started to get better, our loved ones started to follow suit. When we started working our recovery, we had more loved ones that were starting to go into recovery, and it was amazing. So, that is what I want to encourage people to do. Some people think that by reaching out and getting support or getting the education that they're admitting a wrongdoing, maybe. And, that's not what they're doing. They're simply reaching out and doing the best that they can do for their family. And that is
Absolutely.
And I always
Absolutely.
encourage, even, every time I talk to a law enforcement officer and EMS, I always say, hey, stop into our group because you know what? They're on the front lines and they could use that education as well to see the families that are affected and see that it doesn't discriminate. And,
Yeah, it
it definitely, we have a very well-rounded group of families, and we are definitely a huge family. So anybody in the community could probably benefit from coming to a family group session.
absolutely. I know I've been there and it was awesome. And the reason that I liked it and that was I was pretty like still in my recovery more than dealing with other people's recovery. I didn't have to so much at the time. But it is very beneficial for people that are dealing with somebody in active addiction. And sorry, my kids are walking in. I'm gonna lock this door.
I already warned
But,
mine. No,
huh? I
I already
warned
warned
them.
my 20-year-old. No.
Yeah, I warn them it doesn't work, but mommy doesn't get alone time very often. And I don't have my own space. As you can see, I'm in like a 5-year-old's bedroom right now doing a video because I need my own space to do these. But I just lost train of thought. I don't even know what I was talking about, other
You
than
had come to our meeting. You came to our meeting.
I did, and it it's amazing because that's when I realized for the first time that I was the lucky one because I got to be numb through my entire addiction. And I know for a fact my dad has told me many times that he wasn't numb. He was a mess. He would cry over me and he'd stay up at night and just think about getting a phone call that I was dead. So I know how big of a deal it was to my father. And I didn't have to deal with any of that, and I wasn't really aware of it. He may have told me in my active addiction, but I was so far gone that it didn't hit me like it should have. So, like, I don't know, it just opened my eyes so much to the fact that you guys never were able to be numb like we were.
Yeah, we have people that are in recovery actually that attend our meetings as well, and we learn things from them just as they learn from us, and that's beneficial for us too.
Right.
Like somebody said, they lost the feed.
Yeah. Can you guys see us and hear us now?
Are we
Just
still
comment
there?
if you can. I can still see you.
I can see you too. The last time it said paused. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Hello.
weird. This is all new. It's a fun little experiment, so I'm excited.
Right. Yes. Somebody said yes that they were still there.
Okay, they can still
Does
see us.
anybody
We're
have any
okay.
questions? Yes, I can see you. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, guys. Hi,
Yes,
Miranda.
she's got it. But Pamela says that it's back.
Yeah, that's actually my mother. Mom,
Oh,
this is Monica. She is the mother of a person that is in recovery. Her son's in recovery. So we're talking about like me as the recovering heroin addict and the mother here who she's very knowledgeable and very educated. So if you have any questions for her, she's the person to talk to. And you can put any question on here and we'll talk about it and answer them for you guys.
hi,
Sammy said we're doing
Pamela.
a great job, so that's
Oh,
great.
yes. Hi, Calvin. I see some of some people I know here, and that's great.
Yeah, this
You
is our
know,
first time if you're just like
tuning in.
coming in.
Right,
Yeah, tuning in.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, more about you or more about me? What would you like to talk about? If you heard us and you were in our shoes, what would you want to know?
So you're asking the audience, or are you asking me? No.
Anybody.
Oh, how do you feel about the few ODs in the last 2 weeks or so? Yeah, I
Um,
think listen, I say that, I don't know if you're in our community, I don't know if you know this, but we have a drug-free Muskingum, which is a coalition. We're out there trying our hardest to try to gap or fix the gap between, the streets and treatment. And our hearts are breaking because parents are losing children, and it's something else. These may not be my children, but um, my heart is broke for these parents. It's
yeah.
like we can't work fast enough. We can't. Um, I don't know. We're trying. We definitely are trying to make a difference.
And that's where our problem is, where it's hard to accept the fact that people they have to want recovery themselves, and that's so hard for us because we're dealing with people in our community that we have relationships with or had relationships with, or that are connected to us somehow, and they're dying left and right, and we're out here trying our best to save these people, and there's nothing that we can do other than be here, support them, show them that recovery is possible, and try to influence them and persuade them, but they have to make the choice themselves to go through with it. I
Hmm.
know I talk to a lot of people until I'm blue in the face and they're just not ready. And it's sad because those are the people that we find dead. And yeah, the deaths around here we're not taking very well. We're losing them left and right, and like I said, it's starting to affect us personally, and starting to affect our children. And uh, I don't know. We can
Yeah.
only do what we can do for ourselves and our children. We can't change the other people that are involved, but hopefully hopefully no one else has to lose a parent and nobody else has to lose a child. But hi, Shante. The depression, anxiety. I still have severe anxiety, and the way that I'm working through that is by doing these videos. I've explained many times before that I get in my own head and it's hard for me to talk and I'll stutter sometimes, and it's it's not easy for me to talk, and I think it is because of the anxiety. So I've started doing videos and I'm trying to uh, just change the way that I think and recreate myself, because I think that we can, if we work on it enough, we can change the things about ourselves that we don't like. And I don't like that I can't speak, so I started making a lot of videos and I'm getting better at it. So it's obviously working. As far as the depression, um, I still have depression. I am starting to see a psychiatrist that hasn't started yet. I'll go in April, but anxiety and depression's always been an issue with me, and not medicated. It continues to be, so I have to work with a doctor and I have to do things that are therapeutic and get out of my head and pray and do whatever it takes, but it's one day at a time. So as long as I can keep doing one day at a time until I get into a doctor, then that's just the way I'm handling it right now.
Ember, there was another question. Miranda, what would you say are some pointers to help someone that is clean, been clean, but trying to go back to using?
Sorry, I have a message. I had to delete it. Trying to go back to using. Um, I don't even know what to say to that because I can't imagine ever going back. Everybody's dying left and right. I would say maybe they need to talk to a therapist, get counseling because whatever issues they have that's making them want to use after they've been clean so far, like so long, they need to deal with those issues. They need to get into some sort of program, work with a sponsor, do the steps because obviously, like, they're not doing recovery right as far as those things that I listed. Because when you're in recovery and you work the steps and you talk to a sponsor and you do the things that you're supposed to do, like you can never think of going back to using drugs. I hope that helped and that wasn't too blunt, but I know that if you're doing the right things, you shouldn't have the I don't know, you
Urge.
shouldn't go back to using. I mean, like, you can have urges. Everybody says, like, having an urge is normal, it's natural, but I would never consider actually going out and using. You have to play the tape through and realize that you've already lost in most things.
They're already in
Well,
MBH and
good. Seeing
yeah,
a
that's
counselor, so that's a good step right there. I mean, at least they're making an effort, because that's
great.
what scares me is when people aren't making an effort to change. So that's a good step. I would continue to talk to the counselor, but also um, get them involved in the program and the people that are in the program because they help me out tremendously.
I wanted to mention just because I watch a lot of people in recovery, and I am involved with a lot of people in recovery. This town has an amazing, amazing recovery community, and they do so many events and so many things for people in recovery, and that is in itself is awesome because every night of the week there's something for people in recovery to do, whether it be a meeting or a reach out or something. um, you know that that to me is awesome because
Absolutely.
there's something for them to be doing. And we I learned that a lot of relapse occur from boredom. So, I think we're fortunate in this town to have a lot of resources for people in recovery.
We do actually. Hold on, I'm gonna fit. Yeah, exactly. I feel the same way. Triggers are normal. They are absolutely normal. That's what I was talking about, like playing the tape through and realizing all of the things that you can lose. I know that I lost everything, including my children, for a little while, and I had to build myself from the bottom up. I had to change everything about myself, take people's advice, and become a better person. So I don't know where I was going with that. I started reading something else, but basically change everything about yourself. And once you like build yourself back up and build a life for yourself and for your children, like going back to that lifestyle is insane. I could never imagine going back to where I was before.
I wanted to mention too, like for the families, I think a lot of times that's probably the hardest thing for families is a lot of people send their children off to treatment and they don't realize that we too have to change our ways. Something that I come to realize is a lot of my behaviors were they were keeping my son sick. And I had to, with my codependency and enabling, when I started to work my recovery, I had to come to terms with that fact. I didn't, you know, somebody bluntly said to me that, your actions were keeping your son sick, and I misheard that because what I heard was it's your fault that your son was sick.
Right, and I would have heard that too.
Right. But and I continue to work my recovery and finally come to terms with the fact that it wasn't my fault, but my
Yeah.
actions. So, in my recovery, I learned to stop enabling, and that definitely made a difference for him as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like I said, I love that family group, and any parents that are out there should definitely join it. You also said not just parents, but people that are dealing with other people that are in active addiction that they loved and everything should definitely get involved with that because it's truly beneficial. It's educational, and you can't go wrong when you're learning about this disease.
Absolutely
It's
not.
insane, and there's so much to learn. I'm learning so much through my recovery and my journey, and um, we just have to keep an open mind, but also keep educating ourselves and keep learning always because we need to help people. And I'm going to scroll back up. Miranda, I appreciate that you said that this person looks up to Jeremy and I. They need to reach out to us. And we never turn our backs on people that truly want it. We are always here to give advice and to talk them in the right direction because like any person needs words of encouragement, and that's what we're here to do is encourage others to not only find recovery but to stick with recovery, and because it's worth it. Being alive is worth it, and I've learned that in recovery this is my second chance at life. I've never been so grateful to be alive. If I didn't go through what I went through, I would probably be just another entitled little brat, and I wouldn't be grateful to be here, and I wouldn't be grateful for the things that I have and the people that I have. I love each and every person that I've surrounded myself with. They are all um, very supportive and amazing people that I've met just through being in recovery. There's only a couple people from my past that I brought along with me, and that's because they were there throughout my entire thing, supporting me, not using with me, but just there to love me and support me and guide me, and they wanted to see me be the best version of myself. But that's what recovery is becoming the best version of yourself. So I'm grateful every day because, like, if I didn't go through what I went through, um, then I wouldn't be the person that I am today.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
Yeah, the people at MBH are amazing. I love them. They're so supportive. I did not go there. Um, when I needed treatment, I went to Genesis because that was the first place that I heard about, and I graduated. I love them. They are amazing. And but then like MBH, the people there kind of like we became buddies, and I absolutely love them. Additionally, like everybody, Genesis and MBH are amazing, and they're full of amazing people that genuinely care, love, and support us. So I like that's another amazing thing about this town is we have both of those places for people to go and get help and talk to the people that really care and really want to see them succeed. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. I absolutely do agree. We have a great community of resources, and it
We
seems
do.
like we are building them too.
How often are you guys going to do these videos? This is the very first live video. I actually had to call my friend Higgy and ask him how to do this because I had no clue how to bring on a guest and talk like this. But this was the goal. So I love it as long as other people are open to be on here. Monica's amazing. She did a great job. But as long as people want to keep on talking, we're going to keep on doing this. And if it's beneficial to anybody in any way, we're going to continue to do it. Um, like I
I always
said,
say one person. If we can touch one person, then that's the goal.
Yeah, and I'm an addict, so I have to go above and beyond. So I want to get like 15 people saved in one day. So we'll probably do a lot of videos all the time. Um, but it's fun, and I'm glad that we did this. I'm glad that we learned how to do it, and hopefully it helps somebody out there. I thought it would be great to. I've always wanted to do this with Monica anyway because it is different hearing how parents have to deal with us little assholes. So it's, I love that just being able to talk to her and have my point of view and her point of view and see that we're both in recovery. I'm in recovery because of my drug use, and she's in recovery because she's recovering from her son's drug use. And we're all in recovery and we all support and love each other.
That's right. I have to tell a little funny little story because, you know, when my son is actually in Power Court, which is a felony drug court here in town, and I wrote the judge a letter upon his sentence before he was sentenced, and I let a friend read that letter, and in that letter I discussed my recovery, and my friend called me and said to me, I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware that you struggled with addiction. And I mean, that is how, how a lot of people don't realize that we as family members are in recovery. And just for a minute, I thought that I would maybe harass a little bit just because she thought she knew me really well. But I decided to be nice. Um, yeah. But, and then I got to thinking, I'm thinking, gosh, I hope the judge understands that families need recovery, because so a lot of people, when I speak about recovery, at first I do clarify that it's family recovery, and we do need to talk more. I put the challenge out there to the sisters. I challenge them to talk to their families about recovery because it needs to be talked about with with addicts, in recovery, because our families need to know that they deserve this. They deserve to be in recovery as well. They deserve the sanity. I always say, I get
Absolutely.
back what I've been given, and I've been given back my sanity. And I I tell moms sometimes, even if our children don't choose recovery, we have to choose it for ourselves.
Right. I agree 100%. Um, I'm trying to read Brittany's post here real quick and see if there's something I can answer for her. The problem with that is it sounds like I give people so many chances to go through with it, and if I get three excuses, then I know for a fact that they themselves are not ready. If you are ready for recovery, you will not make any excuse. You'll do what you have to do. If that involves leaving, you're supposed to leave all the people, places, and things. You have to be selfish when it comes to your recovery. And if they're making up excuses, then they're not ready for it. In all honesty, you'll do when you're ready and you hit rock bottom, you'll do anything asked of you to fix yourself. And I know when I was ready, I didn't make any excuses. I didn't have any excuses. I was praying for help and I needed help and I did everything that I was supposed to do. So if he's not making every single attempt to get help, then he's just not ready. Um, and all of us hit rock bottom or our rock bottom at different times. He may not be there yet. Yeah, he's not ready. I agree, Candace. Um, So is there anything else that you want to talk about before I go and get my kids ready for bed?
I think I'm good if nobody else has any other questions. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you for doing this with me. That was awesome. Okay, so I have to tell a funny story. So we're trying to figure out how to do this, and she messaged me and she's like, "When are you gonna do the video?" I'm like, "Oh, maybe like 8." And she's like, "Okay, well I have to go home and all this stuff." And then like she's like, "I'm on my way," and I'm like, "You're on your way home, right?" And she's like, "No, I'm on my way to your house." I'm like, "You could do it from your house. We'll figure it out." So this was our very first, but she was like so into it that she was willing to come over to my house, sit beside me, and do a video. So I appreciate that. I laughed and I loved it, but I love how um, just into it you are. Like anything that I ask, you're into it and you do it, and that's great because even if it makes us uncomfortable, that's growth. And that's how we change ourselves, but also help other people. And I appreciate everything that you do. You are amazing. I have been clean in April. I'll have 4 years clean from all the big bad drugs. Yes, I definitely want to go live, and whoever wants to. I have a page that I created because I look for videos that are inspirational about recovery. It's it's so new. What's the name of it? Sisters in Recovery Live, isn't it, Monica? Can you hear me, Monica? We made live is the group that I started so that we can all start doing videos. But yes, I will be doing many more live videos. Anyone that wants to come on and do live videos with me, message me personally. My name is Ember Shepherd Ridgely. And then I can talk about recovery all day, any day. If it helps you guys, then it helps me. And I'm all for it. So let's say goodbye to Monica real quick. Get her back on here. And then I'm going to go put the kids to bed. But I appreciate all of you guys jumping in and watching this video. Hey, got you back. I have Spectrum. What's happening?
Yeah, they hate me. I'm real sorry. And you can see my dog. She's back here behind me. Do you see her? She's climbing on my shoulder.
I do. She's cute. She's cute.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I was
Yes.
just telling everybody good night, and they like this live video thing, so I appreciate your help with this, Monica.
Thanks for inviting me.
And thanks for doing it and being willing to drive over here to do it. It's awesome.
Well,
All
this
right.
is more convenient, definitely. So,
I know, it's awesome. I'm like,
yes,
I
it
was
is.
trying to tell you, I'm like, you can be in bed and I can be in bed and we can still chat. Did you not see that message?
I must not. I was sweeping up hair, I'm sure.
Yeah, you probably were. All right. Well, I am going to get ready for bed. So thank you very much for this, and thanks to everybody that's watching.
Yes, thanks everybody for watching.
All right. I'll talk to you
All right.
later, Monica.
Yeah, see ya.
Night, guys.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.